So now what we're going to do is we're going to start working on the back over here of this computer tower. So let's go ahead and do that. First thing I want to do is come in here and let me go to wireframe very quickly here. And there's a few things that I have to adjust here to get it to look right. So let me go to point mode. I'm going to select this point right here. And let me see. Yeah, I have an extra polygon over here on this side. So let me go ahead and delete it because we obviously don't need it. So let me select this point. I'll select that point. See which other points I should select. Let's pick these and these. Let's go back to shaded view. And what I need to do is make sure I'm in global and COG mode, and just scale these out so they cover those gaps right there so we don't see them anymore. Okay, perfect. Alright. Now what I need to do is make a few holes here, so to speak. So I'm going to do that pretty easily. Let me select this edge and that edge right there. And what I'm going to do is Shift D to split that. And I think I'm going to split it just, let me see. I think one time is going to be good for now. Let me select that edge and pull this up to about here. And actually I should have split that twice because I'm going to need to split that again. So let's go ahead and split it again. Let's move that new edge up. And I'm going to move it to about here. I think it's going to be good. And the power supply unit is going to go back there. So that's what I'm getting ready to do now. Okay. Let me take this edge and this edge and let me split that a couple of times. I'm going to move this one maybe over here. And I'll take and move this one maybe over there. Okay. Pretty simple. I'm going to take these two new edges and I'm going to split these a whole bunch of times, maybe 7 times. It's actually a good reason for that. You'll see why in a moment. Okay, with all these new edges and things, let me take all of these and I'm going to split that one time. I'm going to select all these new edges here and I'm going to just move them back to about here. Okay, so about there is going to be good. And I'm going to take some of these points and kind of just shift them and move them around a bit to alter and change up the shape of this guy. So I'm going to be moving this maybe over here. Maybe I'll move this down like this. Maybe I'll move this down here. Maybe I'll take this guy over here. Let me actually take this set of edges and move them like this. Maybe something like that. And actually let me pull this back like this maybe. And that looks like it's gonna work. Let me select all of these polygons and I'm gonna select these right there. I'm gonna hit Control D to extrude that and I'm gonna pull it in. Not too much, just a little tiny bit, something like that I think will work. And I'm going to delete those to punch a hole in there where the power supply is going to go. Alright, so that looks like it'll work. Okay, so let me take this guy and freeze modeling on him. Alright, so that's where my power supply is going to go. But I don't have the power supply built yet. So I don't really have anything to place inside of there. So I'm not going to worry about that for the moment. Here's what I'm going to do instead. I'm going to put something, a little placeholder there. So I'm going to select that edge. I'm going to hit Control D to extrude it. I'm going to pull it out. Then I'm going to take that new polygon, right click, extract and delete the original. I'm going to freeze modeling on it. I'm going to turn on COG and I'm going to pull this guy down. Maybe like that. And I'm going to start to just kind of scale this up and get it into place. Until it fits and it pretty much covers up that hole, which it's doing a good job right there of covering up that hole right now. And it's a whole separate piece on its own, which is good. Alright, so we'll build the power supply later. Let's continue working on the back and getting some of these details done. So let me see what I need to do now. Alright. Let me take this polygon here and let me see what I'm going to do with this one. I need to punch a hole in here, a narrow little hole right there on the side. So let me see how I can do that. I'm going to do that like, I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to select this edge, that edge. I'm going to subdivide it 2 times. And it didn't do a very good job. As you can see, it did it slanted, which is obviously no good. But it doesn't really matter at this point. I'm going to take those, I'm going to subdivide those 1 time. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into the front view here. And it's going to be hard to work with it because I got all this other stuff in my way, basically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to Z. I'm going to middle click it. I'm going to switch to shaded mode. And actually I can switch to hidden line removal. And now I'm looking at this from the back, which is just great. And now what I can do is I can come in here and start snapping this to the grid till I get something that's straight like that. And that looks like it's going to work. I'm going to take that, maybe move it down to make that a bit longer. So I'll go into my camera view here. I'm going to take this polygon right there, move it more over to the side like this, and now I'm going to extrude that, push it in a bit, not too much, just a little bit like that, and there we go. That's where some of the input and output connectors are going to go. So now what we need to do is make another hole back here, and it's going to be the little air vent for a fan, for the rear fan of the case, and it's going to be a pretty big one. So this is going to be pretty simple. I'm just going to take this guy right here, and actually let me see how I can do this. I'm going to do this a little bit differently. I'm going to go to wireframe mode. I'm going to select that edge, and I'm going to select this edge right there. So it's that edge right there. And I'm going to Shift D to split that. And I'm going to do, all I need is 2 splits. So I have a square. Alright. So with that done, I'm going to go again to my front view, which is essentially a back view right now. And I'm gonna grab, there's my edge right there, and let me see, let me switch over to wireframe, and actually what I'm gonna have to do is, watch, I'm gonna pick these 2 edges and I'm gonna split them 1 time, actually 2 times. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and start to get this in place to make sort of this air vent here for this fan, so our computer doesn't choke in there or whatever. So I'm going to do something like this. I think is going to work out pretty good. Okay, so now I'm going to take these polygons here. I'm going to go Shift D, subdivide them. I'm going to subdivide them maybe this many times. I'm going to right click and I'm going to inset going to take a merge off. And it's the same procedure we did the other time, as you can see. So I'm going to make it something like this. Then I'm going to go to transform. I'm going to scale this. And you can see they're not scaling uniformly, so let's just forget about that. Actually, let's try scaling. No, it's going to have to be component. So no, it's not going to work. So whatever, it doesn't matter. So if all these guys selected, let's simply come in here and extrude and push these guys in a bit, like so. And once we do that, maybe I'll extrude them in a little bit more. Once we do that, delete those polygons. We don't need them anymore. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to polygon mode here, and I'm going to select all of these. Okay. And I'm going to go over here and I'm going to isolate the selection. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to display. Let's take that isolate selection off. Let's go to display and let's put we're going to go to hide unselected objects polygons. It's going to hide all that stuff. And then we'll just go to the top view, hit F, here we go. Go to edge mode, select all these edges. So we got all the edges that we wanted. And now let's go back to display and let's put unhide all objects. Or actually unhide all polygons. And now all we have to do is right click. Let's bevel. Increase that distance. Increase the amount of subdivisions there. Maybe to 4. Maybe we'll increase that distance a bit more. Like this. Or let's do 4. 4 gives us a nice rounder shape. Which looks pretty good. Okay. So our CPU, our case fan in the rear goes right there. Alright, let's go ahead. We need to create the bottom part over here. So let's go ahead and let's do that. Let's take these guys right here. And I'm going to go Shift D to split that 2 times. Let's go over here to this back view that we did before. And let's go ahead and snap that to one of these grid points. And right now that's not looking too great, so I'm going to have to adjust that polygon right there. So let's select it. Move it up. Move it to the side. Let's take this edge right here and move it down. Maybe we'll move this one out to the side a bit more. It's got to be kind of big actually. Something like that. Okay. Now we just come in here, take these two, split them or subdivide them I should say, and we'll make about this many. Might work pretty good. Actually, let's make this many. So we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 6, 7. So we have 7 ports here for for putting in. There's a pretty good computer case right here. So what I'm gonna do now is pretty simple. Actually, let me go ahead and what I'm gonna do. I'm going to select all these edges over here. Okay. I'm going to Shift D and then hit tag points here. I'm going to split these up in twos like this. And then what I can do is simply come in here, and I can't see the points. I would love to see the points, so I'll go over here to visibility and I'll turn on points. And I can select the edges that are in the middle here that I split, these new edges. And I can move them outward like this, which is going to be pretty good. Something like that. And now I'm going to pick all of these guys, right click, I'm going to inset, I'm going to take merge off so it insets them all on their own. I'm going to do a small inset, nothing too big, so something like this will work. And now I'm just going to Control D to extrude and pull these in like this. Not too much, not too little, just right. There we go. Alright, now we're getting somewhere. Now we need to start to detail this, so we need to add the details for this and the details for this. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop here at this video, and we'll continue that in the next part.